lip gloss. Did it. Hey everyone, welcome to ScenebyDawn. Today I'm going to be reviewing the movie Avengers Infinity War. We have been waiting for this movie for like 10 years. And it's finally here. And is it living up to the hype? Yes. Yes, it did. So the premise of this film is...
The entire time I knew him, he only ever had one goal. To wipe out half the universe. If he gets all the Infinity Stones, he can do it with the snap of his fingers. Just like that.
Tell me his name again.
Thanos.
He's not very nice, and his chin is really ugly. Like, his whole face is not pleasant to look at, and he's not a very good person. Well, he's not really a person, is he? But his character isn't really that great. And then he has this other guy who kind of looks like Voldemort from Harry Potter, and he's ugly. And anyways, they're going around and they're trying to get these Infinity Stones, and then all of the Avengers are trying to stop him from doing that. Hence, Infinity War. That's why. It's not a war that goes on for infinity. It's a war over the Infinity Stones. See what I did there? That was clever. What I loved about this film, there's so many things to love. What I loved about it was that it really looked like a comic book movie, meaning it wasn't like a comic book story that's been adapted to the screen. You could take any of the scenes, screen capture it, and put it into the frame, like frame by frame, like a comic book, and you could have just like that one single part, and everything else that's happening, like as it's in the movement, that's how you would, if you saw it on the page, just in that one still motion of action, then your imagination embellishes the movements and the actions and the emotions, and I just feel like that's what this movie did. It was a great comic book movie. Like, it was a comic book that came to life. The colors and the framing and the scene choices and even the dialogue is very succinct. We've had 10 years to develop the backstories of everybody. So at this point, even if you're not a comic book fan, you would understand what everybody's backstories are. So they only really have to say one sentence to each other and you're like, oh yeah, I totally know what they're talking about. There wasn't a lot of time spent on that. So in that way, it's like a comic book, because if you are a comic book fan, you've already interacted with these characters for a long time. In each episode, you don't need to rehash it again, what it was that they went through, because you've already gone through how many volumes. Like, it's already understood among the followers of the story what the development of the story has been. I was a bit worried that with like so many different characters that things would become like a bit bogged down or scattered or not really tight, but that was not the case in this movie at all. I just felt like it was really well done. The different characters were introduced into the story at the appropriate times, and just like in a great way. I felt like sometimes it was just a surprise, like, oh, who's that in the shadows? And then so-and-so walks out. Like, it's just really great. And the reactions from the crowd was like, oh, it's that guy. Every time we saw a new Avenger be added to the mix, we were all really excited. And it was like, it's like the best version of a high school reunion, you know? Like, everybody comes, like, not everybody arrives at the same time, and you don't all walk in slow motion in a big long line. People come in at different points. They add more to the scene, and that's what this is. It's just like they were added in at different points of the story, and each time it just brought another level of excitement that is like, oh yeah, oh, they're here now. Like, that's really great because we have all this backstory of them and we understand who they are and what they bring to the team and what struggles they've been through in the past and what that all means for them to show up now at this point. Like, it just really was great, and I love the color schemes. I did find it to be a bit darker. Of course, it is a darker storyline. In that, it was reflected in the color scheme. That was a bit of a darker movie. But then, like, when the Guardians of the Galaxy showed up, it does get a little bit brighter. And I loved how Groot is this, like, moody teenager playing video games in the background. It was really cute. I think that the comic book fans are going to be so pleased with this movie. My son in particular, he has been looking forward to this movie for, like since he was 8. And at the end, he said, you know what? My life is complete. Like, it was so good, and the story was solid, and it wasn't scattered like I was worried that it was going to be. The characters were all still really strong. I felt an affinity with all of them and a camaraderie, and I felt like I was going along the journey with them. And because we've had all of this build up and all of these backstories, it just made this film so much richer, because it didn't have to say too much, but it said enough in order to tie everything in. Like, I don't want to give away too much. I really want you guys to enjoy it for yourselves. The ending is like, what? And stay tuned to the very end. They do things in the end credits, but sometimes there's like a couple of them. And this one, there was only one, so you have to really stay to the end. Like, at one point I was thinking, maybe they're just tricking us. Maybe there isn't one this time, but there was one, but it's way at the end. So don't worry, it's coming. Like, don't give up. Just wait, and it's worth it. And it's worth it. Yeah, I love this film. It lives up to the hype. It's worth every single second. It's pretty long. It's 2.5 hours, so make sure to do your bathroom break ahead of time and really ration your drinking so you don't have to leave. I give it an A. I give it an A. I would even say A+. I give it an A, strong A, leading to the A+. I really do. I thought it was fantastic. Yeah. Oh man, there's so many things I want to say, but I don't want to ruin it for you. So give this video a big thumbs up. If you like spoiler-free reviews, don't forget to subscribe and ring that little bell so you don't miss out on anything that I've seen. Scene by Dawn.